Hi, I'm Brooke, and welcome back to the Science Spectrum's Female Scientist Friday. This week, I'm going to be talking about Maya Lin, a Chinese-American architect most famous for designing the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. You might be thinking, well, Brooke, is an architect a scientist? And my answer to you is yes. Here at the Science Spectrum, we like to use STEAM, including art, because we acknowledge that the arts require the use of science, technology, engineering, and math. Architecture itself uses pretty much all of these concepts in designing structures, and that's where our female scientist comes in. Maya Lin was born in 1959 in Ohio to two Chinese-American immigrants. Her parents were highly educated and both taught at Ohio University. Because of her proximity to the university, Maya was able to take classes during her childhood, and it was there that she first learned about architecture and developed the ability to create things out of raw materials. After graduating high school, Maya attended Yale University to receive her bachelor's in architecture. In 1980, while Maya was still a senior at Yale, the United States Congress announced the competition to design the Vietnam Veterans Memorial, 5 years after the end of the Vietnam War. The competition was anonymous, meaning each design was identified by number rather than by the designer's name. Over 1,400 designs were submitted, and Maya Lin's was chosen. Her design was deemed controversial because of its minimalistic style and lack of ornamentation, and the fact that Maya had no professional experience. Regardless, her design was implemented and can now be seen in Washington, D.C. to this day. A small side note about the memorial. Because the design was so minimalistic, Congress decided to add statues near the memorial to further honor those lost in the war. One statue is the Vietnam Women's Memorial, dedicated to the nurses who helped during the Vietnam War. This statue was designed by Glenna Goodacre, another woman in STEAM and a Lubbock local. Similarly, an in-memory plaque honoring those who died after the end of the war but as a result of their injuries from their time in Vietnam was added by an organization now maintained by Texas Tech University, meaning that there are a couple local connections to this week's Female Scientist Friday. Maya Lin continued her schooling after being selected for the Vietnam Veterans Memorial and eventually received her master's degree in architecture as well. She emphasized the use of nature and natural elements in her work. She designed the Civil Rights Memorial in Montgomery, Alabama, and found her inspiration for the design in water. In 1993, she finished the Women's Table at Yale University, a monument to the co-education of Yale, Maya's alma mater. She completed Wade Field in 1995, which is an earthworks installation at the University of Michigan. For Wade Field, she was once again inspired by nature and used the earth and grass to mimic the ocean's cresting waves. Maya has designed many other sculptures and memorials, most centered around the environment and her drive to protect it. Her most recent project, the one that she has deemed her last, is What is Missing, an installation of global art pieces and sculptures in honor of the species that have gone extinct or endangered. This project also has a website showing all of the global events that have impacted the environment. Maya has used her training as an architect to raise awareness about the loss of biodiversity and natural habitats by using sound, media, science, and art in her What is Missing project. In 2016, she received the Presidential Medal of Freedom for her work in both the Vietnam Veterans Memorial and the What is Missing project. She is currently still working on her final project and hopes to educate others on the impacts that they have on their environments. You can learn more about the environment and architecture at the Science Spectrum.